Hi everyone, my name is April and I usually make sewing content, but ever since attending the Impressions Expo last year, I've been exploring the world of apparel printing. Thanks to Xtool and Ricoh, I now have a DTF and a DTG machine. This is Xtool's Apparel Printer, which is a DTF machine, and DTF stands for Direct to Film. Direct to film means the design is first printed onto a special film and then a layer of white ink is added behind it, which is how a design is able to show up onto dark fabric. After that, a powder adhesive is sprinkled on top, and then the powder needs to be melted using heat so that it can be pressed and adhere to your garment. We have the apparel printer combo, which means the top part is the printer and the bottom is the fully automated shaker oven that will powder and cure my design for me. Without the shaker oven, I would just have to powder and cure it manually. DTG stands for Direct to Garment, which means that this printer can print directly onto your fabric, kind of like an inkjet printer. Some DTG printers use white ink, just like DTF, but the one I have here is the Ri 100 and it does not have any white ink, which means that it can only print onto white or light colored fabrics. The Ri 100 also comes with its own oven underneath, so after it finishes a print, I can just easily throw it into the oven to finish curing. I'm also going to be sharing some pros and cons and some things I wish I knew before I got started. Now, I wouldn't be able to handle all of these machines without the help of my husband. He focuses on all of the technical stuff and lets me be creative. So everybody welcome Eric!
Hey guys!
Eric is going to be covering Xtool's Apparel Printer because he's been maintaining it every day, and I'm going to be demonstrating on Ricoh's Ri 100, and we're both going to be printing the same design onto some cotton tote bags right here, just so that you guys can see the print process and the end result of both on these two different machines. Here's what the pre-printing prep is like for the Ri 100. I just power on the oven, preheat it, and then turn on the printer. I'm also going to take the extra step to pre-treat my tote bag. Pre-treatment acts as a base layer so the ink sits above the fabric instead of inside it, making the design more vibrant and detailed. It's also going to make the color stay longer after washing.
Like if you touch it.
Oh wow, it's like smooth.
It's like a surface.
You can't even feel
like
the
fibers.
bumpiness.
Yeah.
And that is pre-treatment for you.
With Xtool's Apparel Printer, I first power it on, and then automatically the machine starts self-cleaning. This feature, along with auto maintenance and white ink stirring, truly makes the upkeep a lot more simple compared to other DTF printers. When it's done, I can do a test print, which can be accessed through the touchscreen.
That was fast.
It's not looking good because look, the white here, I'm not sure you can see, but it's missing. So if I print that out, the white might not be good. After 3 test prints, the lines were showing up nicely, and this whole process took no more than 5 minutes. The next thing I have to do is preheat the oven by switching it on in the back.
Now we can upload our design onto the software. Ricoh's software is super simple and kinda outdated in my opinion. I opened up my design, which is of one of my favorite music artists, Leve, and stretch it out as big as I can, which is not big at all for this machine. The more expensive DTG machines have a bigger print area, but I can't complain because I do love the small size of this printer.
The Apparel Printer uses Xtool's SCS software, which has tons of editing tools that are simple to use. I just upload the same design and stretch it to the size I want. I'm also going to duplicate and cut out one of the hearts to fill in the space on the outside. The maximum print area is 14 inches wide by 18 inches long right now, but there's talks of Xtool making it longer in the future. The cool thing about Xtool software is that it tells you the cost per print at the side, which is helpful for businesses. Once the design is ready to go, I just press print and it sends it to the machine using Wi-Fi, or you can connect a USB. We use Wi-Fi, so it takes some time, but once it starts printing, it's super fast.
A pro about DTF is that it works on almost any fabric or material that can be heat pressed. You can even press it on wood and canvases. Meanwhile, DTG works best on 100% cotton or cotton blends. My design is ready for printing, but now I have to place my tote bag inside the platen and tuck everything underneath. Then I preheat it in the oven and now can slide it inside the printer and press start to print. I can see why it's so nice to have a fully automated machine like the Apparel Printer that does it all for you, but I low-key have fun with this little machine as well. It makes me feel like I'm playing with an easy bake oven. One round of printing for the Ri 100 takes about 2 to 3 minutes. Meanwhile, the Apparel Printer is already done printing and is headed to the shaker to be powdered.
After the powder is evenly sprinkled, it then goes through the oven, which is the longest part of the entire process.
The second round of printing on the Ri 100 felt like forever, but once it's done, all I have to do is put it in the oven for a couple of minutes. From print to bake, it took about 9 minutes, but if you add the pre-treatment time, the whole process is about 15 to 20 minutes. The one I'm working on here is actually not pre-treated, so I can show you the difference that pre-treating makes on fabric. This is without pre-treatment, and this is with pre-treatment.
Back to the Apparel Printer. About 13 minutes, the print is finally coming out of the oven. If you're printing multiple sheets, it will come out quicker, but waiting for the first one to come out is the longest part. A DTF tip is to fill the empty spaces of your film so nothing's wasted. This is why we prefer DTF in the end, because design placement is more flexible. With DTG, the printer decides the placement of your design, and you have to wait for it to be done to see where you want the next design to be placed. But with DTF, we can cut pieces out and arrange it to our liking before pressing it on, and you can add your design in tricky areas as long as it can be heat pressed.
I feel like the most asked question is if DTF feels plasticky, and all I can say is that it feels way better quality than iron-on vinyl. After peeling the film off from the first press, the print is shiny and has that plastic feel, but you have to do a final press with a t-shirt or another material on top to get rid of the shine and help the print fuse into the fibers better. And if you learn how to play around with different settings like halftone or use a design that isn't so filled in, the quality is pretty amazing. Here is the final side-by-side of DTG versus DTF. I love that you can see the fabric texture underneath for DTG, but I love how sharp and clear the image is with DTF. Your skin actually looks more realistic on the DTG print. The colors are also different, even though it was the same file, but that's probably because the DTG machine I have doesn't use white ink. When it comes down to deciding between printing techniques, it really does depend on the style you're going for, design placement, durability, and how detailed your design is. Ultimately, DTF checks off more of my boxes, but it is challenging to print designs with small details and fine lines with DTF. So in those cases, DTG might be a better choice. If you want that really soft one with the shirt feeling, I love the look of DTG for that. It's also better for stretching. I just wish it was compatible with more fabrics. Speaking of stretching, let's compare the stretch and recovery of DTG versus DTF. As you can see, the DTG print can stretch completely and snap back with no problems. But for DTF, after stretching it, the design does start to warp, so the recovery isn't as nice. But it's pretty impressive it can even stretch this much. I ironed the DTF to see if it'll go back to normal again. I recommend using a cotton heat setting and covering your design with another shirt for the best results. And it worked! So now I'm not too concerned about using it on stretchier and more fitted garments. I'm gonna finish this video with some more things I wish I knew, and the first one is to print out a CMYK color chart so you know what colors your printer is capable of printing, because it definitely won't be able to print out neon shades. Speaking from experience, both of my machines use CMYK, and I never noticed until trying to recreate this Ruginu image, and I needed the colors to be exact. So from now on, I'll have to design with the color chart in mind or go a different route to bring my design to life. The biggest mistake we made when getting this machine was not having the humidity in our room high enough. Our room needs to be at 50 to 60% humidity in order for the ink heads to stay moisturized so they don't get clogged. Once we fixed the humidity, a lot of the print problems we experienced were gone. So the apparel printer is designed so you don't have to print every day, and some people have even gone a week without printing and the machine still works great. However, we're going on a month-long vacation, so it does make me a little anxious. I wish I knew that we'd still have to do some manual cleanings and print because it's still a DTF machine at the end of the day. Humidity was the cause of a lot of problems for us, so we need to figure out how to maintain it while we're gone. This last one is kinda obvious, but if you're a beginner, I want to emphasize that no matter how much research you do beforehand, nothing will compare to actually experiencing it and learning through trial and error. That being said, the initial machine setup was the most confusing part as beginners, but once we got past that, it's actually super user-friendly. I'm so excited to level up my creations, especially for cosplays. And that's the end of our videos. We're still noobs and learning, but we hope this video helps someone out there. I'll put all the links to these machines in my description box if you're interested in checking them out. Xtool actually has over 300 demo rooms worldwide where you can try the apparel printer out and decide if it's right for you. Thank you so much for watching, and we'll see you next time. Bye!
See ya.